It's March, and that means the weather is getting warmer, and a lot of you all are already getting out fishing and hunting turkeys. But as always, there are rules and regulations that you must follow. Jim Dooley has much more on that in this month's edition of North Central Outdoors.
Hello and welcome to the March edition of North Central Outdoors. I'm your host, Jim Dooley, and today we're going to talk about some things that I know of that are of everybody's interest. This time of year, spring is in the process of springing, and everybody that's been inside has the real strong desire to get outside. So as far as outdoor activities are concerned, fishing is one of the big ones. So let's talk just for a moment about what you need if you have plans to go fishing this spring. First, you need to buy a license. You know, as most people know, our fishing licenses run from March the 1st through the end of February. So you need to buy your new license. If you're here locally in Lafayette, of course you can always buy them online, but another place, the only place here in the county where you can purchase a license is at Walmart. Most people know that. So get your license. They haven't gone up. It's the same price as they were last year. Get your license and go fishing. Also, when you buy your license, you may notice that there's not any paper copies of the fishing regulations there at Walmart. They've had a little bit of difficulty with some corrections that were needing to be done. They had to go back. We plan on getting them within a week or so. But in the interim, I looked at and tried to see if there were any changes that affected Region 2. I couldn't find any. You know, Macon County, Trousdale County, Smith County is in Region 2. I couldn't see any changes that were in this year's regulations. The only one that may be of concern to people here locally in Macon County and Trousdale and Smith is the fact that the number of poles that you can actually have per person on Dale Hollow Lake has been restricted to 4 poles per person. Also, crappie fishing this time of year is really, really big, and people may have already started catching several. If you go to Kentucky Lake and crappie fish, the daily limit per angler is 20. The size limit per fish is 10 inches, just like it was. But they reduced it from 30 to 20. So those are some changes that that as far as the fishing regulations are concerned, shouldn't be any problem with accesses. The accesses are still the same. Everything's good here locally in Macon County. Sullivan's Pond has been stocked. There's fish in it. Buy your license and go. You're not required to have a trout stamp at Sullivan's Pond if you just fish. But keep in mind, if you possess any fish, if you catch and keep or give away to somebody else any fish, any trout in Sullivan's Pond, you need to have a trout stamp in order to possess trout. In our next segment, we're going to be talking about boating safety. So stay with us. We'll be right back. Hello and welcome back. In this segment, we're going to be talking about some boating issues that I know will be of interest to the people here locally in the viewing area. Some of you may have a boat. The boat's been in storage since last fall when you put it up. You probably maybe have not used it during the wintertime. So you need to do a safety check before you put it on the water. First, you need to look at the side of your boat. Look at the TN numbers that are put on the side of your boat. If you don't have TN numbers on the side of the boat, you need to check your registration and make sure that you display those TN numbers in 1-inch, 3-inch block letters on the side of your boat. It needs to be displayed just like a driver's tag on a vehicle. It needs to be displayed. So the tags are displayed, your TN numbers displayed. Make sure that the registration is up to date. If you, let's say you received the boat last fall or last winter, you cannot operate that boat on somebody else's registration. If it was given to you by a friend or a family member, you cannot operate that boat on their registration. It's exactly like a vehicle on the public roadways. You have to have it in the owner's name before you operate it. Secondly, if you have your registration all in line, everything's good. If it's out of date, you can do the renewal online. You can go to Walmart and have it done there, but renew your registration. Those fees have not gone up either. Thirdly, if you or when you look at your boat, keep in mind the number of people that are going to be on your boat as you're fishing this spring. Everybody on that boat needs to have a wearable PFD, personal flotation device, to size. If you've got children, if you're going to have children fishing for crappie or whatever, you need to have youth-sized life jackets on that boat. An adult will not work for a youth. If it's somebody that's 12 years of age or under, when that boat is underway, that child needs to have their PFD on them. You're not required to have them, but the child is required to have them on their person and ready to go when the boat's underway. Also, in addition to the PFD requirement, you need to make sure that you've got a fire extinguisher, a good functional fire extinguisher on board your boat. That's pretty simple. Look at the gauge, check it out, shake it up. They always last longer if they're mounted as opposed to being stored in a cubby hole. Lastly, if your boat is 16 feet or over in length, in addition to the personal flotation devices for everybody on board your boat, you need to make sure that you have a Type 4 throwable cushion. It's the little seat cushion, little square seat cushion with handles that a lot of times people sit on and that type of thing. If you get those things done and get your license, you shouldn't have any problem with your fishing outings on the lakes this spring. In our next segment, we're going to talk about another hot topic coming up, spring turkey hunting. See you then. Hello and welcome back to our final segment this month. We're going to talk just for a little bit about turkey hunting safety. Turkey hunting in the spring is probably one of the largest activities here in Middle Tennessee and in South Central Kentucky. Turkey hunting in the spring is a tradition in Tennessee. A lot of states that have turkey populations, the turkey hunting was started with the fall season. Here in Tennessee, the first seasons that were established when the turkey populations got large enough to sustain the hunting pressure, the first season that were established was a spring gobbler season or a bearded turkey season. So today in Tennessee, the limit will be 4. Some people may remember that last fall the turkey season was reduced. The fall limit was reduced to 1 turkey per county. That is not going to affect the spring limits. The spring turkey limit is still 4 turkeys a season, 4 bearded turkeys a season. That even if you happen to see a bearded hen, you can shoot a bearded hen. The law states bearded turkey. So it's 4, 1 per day, only 1 per day. If you take a juvenile out during the juvenile season, which is a week before the 1st of April, the week prior, that limit is 1 per day for your youth hunters. If they were, let's say hypothetically, they were to kill 2 turkeys during that juvenile hunt, those 2 turkeys count against their limit of 4. So they've only got 2 more turkeys to kill. Keep that in mind. So let's talk just for a minute about some safety tips. When you're spring turkey hunting, it's dangerous due to the fact that you're calling, it's close, everybody's camouflaged, and you throw in the desire, the zeal of the hunting, wanting to harvest a turkey. It's just a lot of things had the potential to go wrong. So you need to be safety minded. Number 1, you need to make always sure that you never stalk a turkey. You never stalk a turkey. You always call from a seated position, from a position that conceals your back. Either it's a rock, big tree, cover your back. You need to have a 180-degree view out to both sides, but you don't ever stalk a turkey. Call from seated position so that you can see what's coming. If you happen to hear people that are coming, see people in the woods coming, do not wave your hand from your camouflaged seated position. Make human sounds. Speak. Hey, I'm over here. Make a sound that identifies you as a hunter. You just wouldn't think that it would happen, but they might see that movement after hearing the turkey call, and they may shoot at the movement. You don't do that. You need to also make sure that the colors red, white, and blue are never on your person. This white t-shirt that I'm wearing, you would not wear that white t-shirt in the spring. The reason for that is that a turkey's head is white. Turkey's head can also be red, and it can also be blue, based upon his emotions and how far and what he's doing. His emotions dictate the color of his head, so don't wear those colors. There's even been situations where people have been seated with their white socks showing. People stalking them saw the white on their socks and shot at them. You can't make some of this stuff up, so you got to kind of judge your activities based upon the things that might happen. Worst case scenario, always be prepared for those. You need to always make sure that when you're calling, you do it, like I say, from a seated position, that you don't walk from location to location calling. Because keep in mind, not everybody in the woods is a turkey caller. Some of them, unfortunately, are just going to the turkey sounds. Also, if you use a decoy, be very, very careful if you set up those decoys or take those decoys down after daylight. Somebody may have heard you calling. They may have come in without calling back. They may be a new person not familiar with the turkey sounds. They may be coming into where your location is. And if they see that decoy and they see it move, they may shoot at the movement. So be very, very careful. Going into your spot where you're going to set up and call from, it's always a good idea to wear blaze orange. If you handle your turkeys, always put it in a like in your vest or something. Don't ever pick it up fully out and move it to your second location. Somebody may see it and shoot at it. Fanning is a big thing where they use a turkey tail, move toward gobbling turkeys like in a field. Be very, very careful doing that. Somebody may see that and shoot at the fan. Be very, very careful when you're moving this stuff around, particularly decoys. Hopefully you'll be able to go. There's lots of turkeys, one a day, one bearded turkey a day. You should have ample opportunity to do that. In closing, let me read one article that I found written by an Aaron Pass, and it was published in Realtree Turkey Hunting Safes article online. It said this. It said the recipe of spring hunting accident is simple. Take a lot of overeager hunters, dress them in state-of-the-art camouflage, and equip them with realistic sounding turkey calls and loaded guns. Scatter them liberally through the spring woods, then season with a highly competitive spirit. Add a dash of pre-dawn light and a sprinkle of spring turkey fever. The stage is set for misadventure. Keep that in mind when you go this spring, and be very, very careful. And as we always say in closing our shows, hunting safely and respectfully is no accident. See you next month.